we really are at like a very special time.
So something like an event ticket, it's just slightly better, right? Like, of course you can buy and sell event tickets right now, but if you made it an NFT, it would just be slightly better across the board.
But I think the great thing about having a group of people that are also interested and you trust the opinion of is you can go on and somebody can go, this is launching in a couple of days, have a look. And it kind of helps you to not have to do all the work. And it kind of also turns down the FOMO, because if you've missed one, the likelihood is you'll be able to jump into the next one.
It's not as easy for a female NFT drop to go out there and sell out, just sheerly based on the people that we know own the wallets. So, they're not going to intrinsically be interested necessarily.
The communication of the idea and what the idea actually means, that it's so much more than the NFT's utility, which is simply an address on the blockchain and nothing more.
I think the huge thing that's changing the world now, and this ties into digital art, is that digital things can be objects.
When we look at NFTs and Web3, I mean, one of the most difficult things you can start to do is, okay, someone who wants to do an NFT drop. When you start actually looking at the market, who actually owns wallets, who actually has enough Ethereum, who actually can participate in this.
Digital art was sort of like categorically ignored as an art form, especially on the internet, because of the innate reproducibility of the work.
I think it's about your own personal journey, and that's quite an annoying answer, but I think that's the only way you can get fulfillment and happiness and satisfaction from the space if you're chasing more than money, I think.
I think there's still so much uncertainty with the regulation of digital assets. I think a lot of people want to get into it, but they're very unsure of how this is actually going to play out.
We want to know who is driving it, who's at the core of it, who gets paid at the end of the day, how do they get paid, where does the money go? We want to know all those things. And without that information, it lends to a degree of inauthenticity.
Is this going to be real money? How do I convert this? How do I report this on my taxes? Like all these. And actually 3 years ago, we weren't even asking these questions.
This is the unlock, is that digital objects now have a native way to have aura, to have objectness, to be a thing that one can own.
Looking at an artist's previous work, that they've been a non-NFT artist for 10 years, 20 years. And so the likelihood is they're going to still be creating work in 10 years or 20 years.
When you start to look at the NFT marketplaces and platforms, I mean, there's so many times I'm like, there's just so much gross stuff on here. And I've even been volunteering with kids, teaching them how to make NFTs. And you wouldn't even believe how hard it is just to find a marketplace that isn't, going to show vulgar material or something that you wouldn't want kids to see.
I have an animator friend who had to do ads and movies and VFX and stuff to make a living, but now he just produces animations that make him happy and make other people feel things, and people pay him for it. And wow, that's just artistry.
There's a passion in Web3 that I really just haven't found in other industries.
At the end of the day, an NFT is just objectness. It's not art, it's not real estate, it's not music, it's not any one context or specific domain. It's just a way for digital things to have value or objectness and trade them around.
This idea of tokens, like that's just the package that all the data is traveling in. Like it's really not more than that. I mean, yes, it expresses itself differently, but it's just the package of data like we have now.
And I find that many artists almost have it backward. They almost think that, okay, I'll generate the art and I'll put it up on the platform and I'll be able to sell it. And then I can participate in this upturn of the existing art market.
Owning digital things is possible and also meaningful and also part of our lives in the same way that physical things are.
We've been talking about sustainability for a long time, but now we actually have a tool and a technology that can really bring this to life. Blockchain just in and of itself, you just think of how much waste is eliminated just from not having to guess demand right now.
Over the last few months, you've seen a lot of NFT photography becoming really a lot more popular. And
because these things are NFTs, they're digital, anyone can view them. And of course, this comes into question is why would anything that anyone can access ever have value.
Concentrate more on the story and the community prior to worrying about putting my artwork on the platform.
If you own the NFT, you own the ability to reproduce it or to commercialize it. I think that that's really interesting.
You're getting into a project because you think you can make money from it rather than having any beliefs. You're going to sell it too early or sell it for a loss or whatever else. I'm sure that's happened a lot with people, even the big successes.
A lot of people want to do this, but it's pretty the actual like conversion rate from people I talk to that actually end up doing an NFT drop is pretty low.
Digital artists can just be artists now.